My name is Ava, and I am in my early 30s. I had just landed my dream job for one of the most prestigious marketing agencies in the city. I couldn't believe my luck when I found out that Evelyn, one of the most respected and accomplished marketers in the industry, was going to be my boss. At first, Evelyn was amazing. She was so friendly and supportive, and she always encouraged me to be as creative and passionate as I could be. She would praise my work in front of the team, and I felt like I was on top of the world. My life was going great. I was doing what I loved, and I had a fantastic fiancé who was so supportive of my career. His name was Michael, or Mike for short. He was a successful graphic designer, and he is the most talented person I knew. We had been together for 3 years at that point, and I was only waiting for my career to take off before having a wedding with him. At one company party, Evelyn started acting very strangely. She seemed unusually interested in Mike, and I couldn't help but notice the way she kept flirting with him. At first, I thought she was just being friendly, but as the night went on, it really seemed like she had other intentions. When we got home that evening, I asked Mike what he thought about her. "Hey, did you feel like my boss seemed a bit strange today?" "What do you mean?" "I'm not sure. I feel like she was interested in you." "Oh, it's nothing, honey. She was just friendly to me because she likes you a lot. That's all. Don't overthink it." I tried to ignore it, thinking that maybe I was just being paranoid. I focused all of my energy on the upcoming project for a very important client. I thought that everything would soon fall into place, and Mike and I would finally have that wedding we had always dreamt about. Because I was so busy with work, I had less time to spend with Mike, but I was sure he would understand, because it was the dream of my life. We had promised to always support each other. After all, that's what marriage was about, right? After days of researching and brainstorming, I came up with a brilliant marketing campaign for our client. And I believed it was going to be a game changer. When I presented my idea to Evelyn, she seemed impressed. She told me that she would take it to the client as soon as possible. I was thrilled, thinking that this was going to be my big break. But then, a few days later, I found out that Evelyn had already presented my idea to our client without even informing me, as if she had come up with the idea herself. I was devastated. I had worked so hard on that project, and Evelyn was taking credit for it. I felt betrayed and angry, so I decided to confront Evelyn about it. That day, I walked into Evelyn's office and started a serious conversation. "Evelyn, can we please talk about that project? I feel like you took my idea and presented it as your own." "Oh, Ava, do you really think I would stoop so low as to steal your idea? You're just not as creative as I am." I was completely in shock. The woman in front of me was no longer the supportive, friendly boss that I knew. It seemed like as soon as she could, she took advantage of me. She didn't want to pretend anymore. I tried to stay calm so that I could continue talking to her. That's not true, Evelyn. I worked really hard on that project, and you even commented on how great it was. Well, are you sure you're not just jealous because I'm more successful than you? I'm not jealous, Evelyn. I just want credit for my work. And if you didn't steal my idea, then why did you present it as your own? Oh, Ava, you're so naive. I could have anything I want, including your fiancé. What are you talking about? Don't play dumb, honey. You know he's out having an affair. A man like that wouldn't commit to a woman like you. You! Too stunned to speak? Maybe you should zip your mouth and leave him for me to handle. I felt like crying right there and then, because I just couldn't believe what she was saying. You're lying. There is no way he could do that to me. Oh yeah? Then how come Mike's tablet password is 0405, my birthday? Do you even know who bought him that tablet? Take my advice, Ava. Know where you belong. A man as smart and successful as him should be with a better match. You can't talk to me like that. I'll take this to human resources. You can't, because you're fired. Just like that, I was fired from my own department. I went home while I was still in shock. Almost immediately, I went straight to Mike's tablet. It was brand new, and he bought it home just not long ago. He's never let me touch it or told me the password, because he said he stored all his important projects there. I tried my birthday first, thinking Evelyn was just pulling a prank on me. But that password was incorrect. With my hand shaking, I slowly typed in the numbers 0405, and the tablet was unlocked right away. I went into his messages and saw all the dirty things they had said to each other. It turned out that this had been going on exactly from that night of the company party. I was devastated. But I got up to pack my belongings. I left Mike's apartment right that evening without even saying goodbye. I went straight to my parents' place and spent that whole week sobbing. It was really hard for me to accept the truth. But little did Evelyn know, there had always been one thing I kept from everyone, including her. My father was the CEO of the company. I didn't want anyone to think I was getting special treatment, or that I wasn't capable of doing the job on my own. I wanted to prove myself and show everyone that I could succeed on my own merit. So when Evelyn wanted to fire me, my father was ready to kick her out of the company, but I didn't want to involve him. I knew I had to handle everything on my own and make him proud, so I took a break from the job and began planning my trip to Europe, determined to make the most of my time away. I researched different training programs and workshops, and I made a list of all the places I wanted to visit. I was excited about the adventure ahead of me, and I knew that this trip would be a turning point in my life. But before I could leave, there was one more thing I needed to take care of. I had to break up with Mike. He was devastated when I told him that I wanted to break up our engagement. I didn't tell him that I knew about his affair and only told him that I needed time for myself. He acted shocked and begged me to stay, but I just couldn't trust that man anymore. How could I, after everything he's hidden from me? I left in silence and was determined to come back so much stronger. While I was in Europe, I asked my father to keep me updated on everything Evelyn's doing. I wasn't shocked to learn that Evelyn had been spreading rumors about me. She told everyone in the company that I was fired because I was useless. Nobody knew that I was the daughter of the CEO, so naturally everyone believed her lies. What's more, the client loved my idea and asked Evelyn to keep working on the project. Of course, she had the audacity to continue pretending it was her original idea. Time passed by really fast because I was so focused on my training in Europe. During that time, I was so busy that the last thing I could think of was romance. But that's exactly when I met Jordan. He was charming from the moment we met, and I couldn't help but be drawn to him. We were classmates, so at first we were only grabbing coffee to discuss work and business. But slowly, as we explored the city together, we came to really enjoy each other's company. Jordan was unlike anyone I had ever met before. He was kind, funny, and incredibly smart. He had a way of making me feel special, like I was the only person in the world that mattered. I felt a connection with him that I had never felt before, even with Mike. A few months later, my father informed me that Evelyn had been struggling with the project. I knew that the day would come sooner or later, because she wasn't the brain behind the campaign. Of course, she wouldn't understand it as well as I did. I knew it was time to go back and get my revenge. It was very difficult saying goodbye to Jordan, but he promised to come and find me. The big day has finally come. As soon as I landed in the States, I asked my father to hold an emergency meeting to address all problems related to Evelyn's project. As she walked into my father's office, I was already sitting there with everyone else in the department. She was surprised, but didn't waste a minute to start questioning me. "Ava, long time no see. What are you doing here?" "I'm here to address all the problems you have been having with the new marketing campaign." "There might be a misunderstanding, Ava. You don't work here anymore." "I actually do. The idea was mine, so I'm responsible for it." "Everyone, please don't mind her. I'll have to call security if you keep being stubborn." I ignored her completely and turned to my team. "The budgeting of this campaign is not done thoroughly right now. You are all aware that you have a problem, but you don't know where it is, right?" Everyone else agreed with me. It seemed like they too had been tired of Evelyn's lies. "I suggest conducting a thorough investigation on how the funding has been used in this project." My original proposal pointed out that it shouldn't have costed that much. The people in the room started to whisper. It seemed like they all knew something fishy was going on, but they couldn't address it. "What are you talking about? Ava, stop trying to sabotage the company's business." "I'm not the one sabotaging this company. You were. You stole my idea and made a mess. Explain why you have been dodging the client's calls and emails lately. Wait, how did you know? Evelyn, you should learn a thing or two about keeping a close relationship with your client. If you were providing such great service, I wouldn't have to fly all the way back here to deal with your mess. What did you do? How did you have their contacts? While everyone was still so confused, my father broke the silence. Evelyn, I knew you had more experience than my daughter, so I let you work on her project idea. But look where you are now. The situation is so messy. I have to pull my daughter back from her training in Europe to handle your client. Daughter? Ava was... Oh God, I'm so sorry. Evelyn was shocked. She couldn't speak. She didn't even know that I had been in contact with our client for months when I was in Europe. Everyone else started to whisper even louder. They were so surprised to learn the real reason why Evelyn was trying to get rid of me. By that point, my father's legal team had gathered and taken Evelyn outside for an investigation. We still needed to find out what she did with all the money we invested in the project for the last months. I remained in the room and drafted out a new plan with everyone else. Finally, I'd found the confidence to take charge and speak my truth. A few weeks after that, Jordan flew to my place to visit, and we began talking about a serious relationship. As for Evelyn's, she sued for fraud as she was illegally using the company's money for personal purposes. I can't help but wonder if this was how she bought Mike that tablet, or how she afforded all of her expensive belongings. But it didn't matter anymore, because she was broke either way. As expected, Mike soon left her and came back to beg my forgiveness. I guess he figured out I had already known of his affair through common friends. But of course, I didn't need him anymore. I had Jordan, someone I could really count on and shared a special connection with. And just like that, my life was back on track again. I got the promotion that I deserved, and I'm now so happy and fulfilled every single day.